Hey, welcome back to Trek on the Tube, and welcome back to another short, very short, and yet useful species video. Yes, that's right, traditionally my species videos go over significantly developed civilizations, from a story perspective that is, in Star Trek lore, but considering there are so many new shows coming out, and they all seem to be using established species in some way or another, for the second time now, I have decided to talk about something we know very little about, and that has had very little screen time. The first video I did like this was the Packlids. I'll put the link in the description. This time we're talking about the Medusans. Star Trek species, here we go. Essentially, sometime this year, we will be seeing the arrival of Star Trek's newest animated show, Star Trek PRODIFY. And among its diverse and interesting-looking cast of young characters are confirmed two species we've seen before in the franchise, Tellarite and Medusan. If you want to learn about the Tellarites, check the link in the description. I already had a video about them. This is the Medusan we are going to talk about, in part, I guess, today. And no, it's not a robot, it's not an android, it's not a technological being at all. Quite the contrary. Let me explain. Medusans are a non-corporeal species. They are in fact some kind of bright, floating mass of light or energy, and to make things even more interesting, their appearance is apparently so hideous. Although that seems very subjective a description, let's just go with unorthodox. So as we were saying, their appearance is so unorthodox that humans, among other species, are unable to look at them without going completely mad. That's right, people lose their minds if they see a Medusan. And then to make things worse, shortly after they die due to massive organ failure.
He's dead, Jim.
Of course, that's not the case with every species. Vulcans, for example, can actually look at Medusans, even if it has to be with protective gear such as a specifically filtered visor. Now, you're probably wondering at this point, why even try to communicate with such beings? Or how even? Well, they're a sentient species, capable of warp travel, and there's nothing to indicate that they are malevolent in any way, so why not try to find a way to communicate? And that's just what the Federation seemingly did. Because we do know that Medusans are a telepathic and empathic species, thus fully capable of dialoguing with many Federation species, and we also know that Medusan thoughts are said to be the most sublime in the galaxy, whatever that means. When it comes to the history of the species or their homeworld, we don't know much, if anything. The only real speck of information we have establishes their homeworld as a planet resembling Venus, so very hot and barren, but that's technically not canon because it was never said on screen. So, ignore that. And it's kind of a similar story with their technology, because technically we never saw their vessels in the original version of the original series. The remastered version, however, showed us one of their ships, and they showed us that that ship actually resembles standard Starfleet ones quite a lot. One could extrapolate that this resemblance is due to some sort of partnership or technological exchange, but again, that is just theory crafting. The last thing there is to talk about, which connects directly to Star Trek Prodigy, is this containment unit. You see, back during the original series, in the late 23rd century, the only way Medusans could safely move about human-populated areas or starships were these fully opaque containment units. But in Prodigy, a show that'll take place in 2383, a good century later, it's been established by promotional documents that this Medusan wears a containment suit they made themselves to protect others from their appearance. And as you can see, it's not fully opaque. We can actually see the Medusan inside. It must also be said that in the same descriptive paragraph, 0 is designated as genderless, which makes sense due to the non-corporeal nature of the species. But much like their homeworld, it's not canon until it's on screen. Oh, and also, we don't know if it's just this Medusan that is genderless or the entire species. Alright, that's all of it. Short and sweet. I'm very excited to see what they do with this character. I'm eager to learn more about the species, the world, their culture, their history. Hopefully the show will dive into all of that. Also, why is 0 blue? Can they change their color at will? Does it have any kind of significance at all? Is this even 0? Or maybe it's just some sort of thing that's part of the suit. I'm assuming it is. Anyway, so many questions. Hopefully we'll get the answers, and hopefully this helped you at least a little. Thank you so much for watching. You're the best. Like, subscribe, share. A huge thanks to the channel patrons. And as usual, Live long and prosper.